everybody, and welcome back to Mopar Masters. Now I have a new video that's fixing to drop soon, but I'm finalizing some of the details. I did get a Diablo Sport with modified PCM and the T2 tuner. I'll be doing a video on that soon. Right now it's still in there with the laptop doing the update and all that stuff, so I'll give you a rundown on that one. It's actually not too difficult, but some aspects of it are, and it's all on basically the updating and the software and all that stuff. Once you get all that stuff hashed out, it seems to do pretty good. I did kind of play with it a little bit yesterday, but had some issues, and we're trying to get that sorted out with tech support now. But since we're in the weekend, I'm probably not going to hear anything back until Monday. But I did get to do some basic messing around with it. And yeah, I could tell a difference in it. Now, I could also tell a difference in the fuel mileage. Believe it or not, with MDS off, basically everything turned off, and still getting a little bit better fuel mileage than what I used to. So, I mean, hey, that's a plus. But that's not why I bought it. But anyway, here's why I'm here. As y'all know, I've got a 21 wide body, and it's got the granite wheels, not the black wheels. And I curbed one, parking on our main street, which is a one-way street. Huge curbs on each side of it. Luckily, I didn't scratch the paint, but I did get the wheel. If any of y'all have tried to find a paint code for these wheels, it doesn't exist. Mopar doesn't make it, and I've confirmed it with an email from their customer care that they do in fact don't have a touch-up paint, or any kind of paint for that matter, for these wheels. Well, I have a little bit of curb rash on mine. It's not bad. It is noticeable. You're like me, you'll notice it. I notice it. So I have found a paint that we're going to try out, and it's actually from Toyota, and I've been through the forums and seen a few people, but never actually saw any real results, any good pictures from it. So without further ado, let's fix some wheels. Okay, so here's the damage. Got a pretty good scuff, but it's not really deep, so it's not bad. You can see in this piece here is where I've started, but what I want to try to do is build it up just a little bit, so I'll be doing it probably a few layers at a time. First things first is to get some color down, and let's see if I can shed a little light on the subject. Wow, that's actually too much. Let's back it down. Well, okay, off it is. So here we go. This is Toyota's Duplicolor 1G3 in magnetic gray, and you can see the part number there is ATY 1632. And that is what I've laid down here so far. Now the lighting's a little goofy, so it actually doesn't look as good as what it looks to my eye. It looks real good. Of course, you can still see all the scratches and stuff, but we're going to get rid of the scratches once we start building up the paint film a little bit, and we'll get rid of basically the spots where the concrete tried to sand my wheels off for me. Oh, gotta love Main Street. So, first things first, this stuff has to be shaken. And when I mean shaken, I mean shake it until your arm falls off, and then switch to the other arm and shake it some more. Because this stuff really needs to be shaken up for it to look right. Otherwise, it's going to come out black, or basically nothing you want to look at. So, first things first is you want to go ahead and prep this surface, get it clean. I like to take a microfiber cloth that's been soaked in some alcohol and wipe it down real good, and also wipe in this direction that the grooves are cut in, and that way you're going to get out all the impurities in those grooves as well, because anything that's in there could keep the paint from sticking properly. And I just heard my vehicle cycle. My tune may be getting close. Okay, so here we go. Now, when you're doing this, make real sure that you get all of the excess off of that brush. Every bit of it. We don't want any excess on there, because first thing that we're going to do is just get some color in there. We don't want to build it up just yet. We just want to get our color in and settled in. Now, don't keep your brush out of the bottle too long, because then it'll start drying out, and you do not want to dry it out. And I'll spin the brush to the other side and use what I've got over there. Okay, and it's starting to get tacky, so we're going to dip it. And then we're going to do the process all over again. And I actually see a run trying to run down the stem, so I'm going to catch that before it drips onto my wheel. I ain't so much worried about my garage floor. Alright. Yeah. And you want to make sure to go in the direction of the scratch. That way it fills in there as well. You'll notice when your brush starts to dry out, because it'll be harder to get in those grooves like right now. Oh, there's a run trying to go down the stem again. Okay, I'm going to get all the way to the very edge, but I'm going to be using real light strokes out here. Okay, and get the final few spots that you may have missed. And we're going to let that dry. And I'll be back after this sets up. And we're going to start building that coat up. That way we can get this round profile again, just as much as we can. Obviously, we're not going to be able to make it match perfect, but I'm going to try just to see how much I can build back up. So there we go. Whoop. Come on. There's our color. Now we'll give it just a little bit. And this is just a flash over, probably about 5 minutes. And then we'll try it out again and go with our second coat. Alright, coat number 2. While this was curing, I shook this paint pen the whole time. So, you always want to shake it if you're going to let it sit for more than a few minutes. And same thing as before, I'm getting all my runs off. And I'm going to start slowly building this up. As I build this up, the scratches should start to disappear. And they are. Seems like it's laying down a little bit better now, so that's good. Alright. Now at this point, I know you can see it with the camera still, because it's man, this camera is picking up every little nook and cranny here. But to my eye, this is already starting to disappear. And if you were just walking by, you would never notice it. We're going to go a few steps above that. Now you notice now I'm not really wiping it as much, but more of a kind of a dab. What that's done is now it's filling in all the little scratches from the concrete. They're not as noticeable now. Looking pretty good. Okay. Alright, same thing as before. Let it sit, and I'll probably put one more real light coat on it, but we'll look at it after it sets up. Be back in 5. Okay, and this will probably be our final one. This will really be the most important one. You're going to want to keep your brush a little wetter this time, but the only issue is you really got to watch about creating a run. But the reason I say you want your brush wetter this time, as you see before, you can kind of see some brush strokes in here, and also a little bit of the scratches from the curb rash. So what this brush being wetter is going to do is going to allow the paint to be smoother. Now you want to be real careful on this step. This is the final step, and this is the step that you're going to see. Everything else was just building up to this point. Now if you do start to see a run, get a clean dry rag and be really quick about getting it off there and starting over. Okay, now same as before, I've been shaking this thing until my arm fell off. And I'm going to need a little steadier hand this time, so I may try to, well no, I'm going to knock some dirt off the tire if I do that. I'm going to try to be steady about this one. I still watch about paint runs on the stem. And let's give it a go. Yeah, I see a spot up there I don't particularly like. Right about in here. Well, it looks awful on the camera, but I promise you it doesn't look that bad in person. Here's the before. Yeah, there's another one. And then there's your after. You can see both of them there. Definitely an improvement. Let's go ahead and work on this other one. Get the camera mount down there. Alright, well I've already cleaned this spot up. We're probably not going to need to do a whole lot of coats on this one, so let's just try to get it in one shot. Go top to bottom. Yeah, let's get that little mark. That one wasn't quite as bad. So, not terrible. I can still see a little bit of the shine from the paint that hadn't fully cured. Now this also has a clear coat in it, but I'm not going to be using the clear coat because this is a satin wheel, so any kind of clear on it is going to shine way too much. And hopefully this paint will dull up just a little bit as it cures, and I fully expect it to. We'll give it a pretty good cure time just to make sure. So basically there is wheel touch-up 101. Hopefully that's my last time I'll have to make this video, because trust me, when I heard that crunch, oh, my heart sunk. It was bad. So anyway, Toyota Duplicolor for the win. And once again, that is Toyota paint code 1G3, and the Duplicolor part number is ATY1632. And so far, that seems to be a really good match. We'll wait till it cures out and kind of loses its sheen for that to be the full deciding factor, but definitely a lot better than what it was. So anyway, thanks for watching Mopar Masters.